Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Derek from Certified Legacy, and last video I did another one of these tier list type of videos, and I decided, hey, let's do another one because I enjoyed it, and it seemed that you guys kind of enjoyed it, and it's a bit of switch up from my tutorial type of content or random commentary videos. I mean, this is kind of a random commentary video in a way because I'm just babbling about iOS versions today. Specifically, we're going to be talking about my favorite like a tier list for legacy iOS versions or obsolete iOS versions, which is basically this is one's kind of outdated, so luckily we get from iPhone OS 1 to iOS 15, which iOS 15 is now actually considered legacy, so I'll be putting this in the ranking as well. So let's get right into this. Okay, starting off with iPhone OS 1. I mean, there's not much you can do on iPhone OS 1 specifically, like there's not even like an app store, it's just like all the basic necessities, but good. It's a good start, but for nowadays, I don't think it's good enough, so I'm putting this in the D tier. I feel like the same thing goes for iPhone OS 2.0. Not much you can do on it. It did get an app store, which is pretty cool, but besides that, not really interesting. And I think iPhone OS 3 would probably be a step up over this. But like for today's standards, I don't think it's that very usable. So I'm going to put this in C tier. And for B tier, I'm actually going to put iPhone OS, or iOS 4 actually. And this one brought like a bunch of new features like wallpapers on the home screen, like Game Center, FaceTime, iBooks, like a better mail app, Game Center, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like iOS 4, I mean, for today's standards, I don't think it's very usable, but I feel like it's definitely better than iOS 3 in terms of usability today. I actually used iOS 4 for a day, I mean, like not too long ago, and I mean, it's kind of usable in a way it isn't usable. So, I mean, it's just alright for today's standards. I'm putting that into B tier. And next one is iOS, well, I guess you could they put a bunch of these like different side versions onto it. I'm just going to be putting them by like their main shipped version, so I'm just going to be doing that. The next one I'm going to be putting next to it is iOS, actually A tier. I'm putting iOS 5. iOS 5 brought literally everything. It brought iCloud, it brought iMessage, the notification center, software updates without having to connect to iTunes, activating on without having to connect to iTunes, everything. So I'm putting this in A tier. I mean, in terms of usability today, I mean, it's still not very good. I guess I'm not going to be counting these by usability today, but I'm just going to relate them in here anyway. But I feel like iOS 4, I mean, is probably my personal favorite. I'm most nostalgic for it, but I still feel it's fair to put it in a B tier. And same with like iOS 3. I mean, it's nothing crazy, I guess, but it did bring some interesting stuff. So because back to like iOS 3, because I don't know if I'm deviating back to this. I mean, technically back then, it did add like video recording to the 3GS, which is also pretty cool. And I mean, that's kind of it. The other stuff is just like developer end and like voice memos, and I don't know if you would ever want that. I guess it did have MMS ability, which is kind of cool, multimedia messages. But I mean, in today's standards, I don't even think it's interesting. So yeah, iOS 5 will be an A tier, and the next one I'm going to put also with iOS 5 is iOS 6. iOS 6 is basically, it's kind of a hot take here. iOS 6 is just a reskinned iOS 5. I said it. It is. I don't think it's much different to iOS 5. It pretty much has all the same features. Also, I don't know why I brought that, like Siri, I don't know why I didn't mention Siri when I put iOS 5 in A tier, but it had Siri and stuff. iOS 6 had like more advanced Siri features, which I guess is cool, but Siri's kind of useless. I mean, it was interesting back then, but I don't think it was very useful back then, to be completely honest. So, I mean, A tier, I feel like it's good to put in A tier here. It's not quite S, but like, I could probably put it in B tier if I wanted. It probably, if there was like a in between, I could probably make it in between here. Let's do that in between. We'll make like a BC, okay? And I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put iOS 6 in it, just so it's, because I feel like it's like a better, we need it in between here. Anyway, we're going to put iOS 7 in A tier, in my opinion. It brought all the good new design changes. I mean, it's just iOS 6, but like different looking, I guess. I mean, control center, which I don't think is actually a very small feature. You got the new design, airdrop, control center. I said that already. I mean, I guess a control center is a pretty big thing, and also you have like improvements to multitasking, which is pretty cool. So I guess iOS 7 is fair to put in A tier right here. So yeah, and the next one, which I think is probably one of my favorites. I'm going to stop relating this to day terms, and I'm going to put iOS 8 in S tier. Because not many people have mentioned this, iOS 7 was quite buggy when it came out, and I feel like iOS 8 just ironed out a bunch of the issues that you would have with iOS 7. Not discounting iOS 7 here, but I feel like iOS 7 was quite buggy, kind of like how we're experiencing iOS 26 right now. I do think iOS 8 ironed out those features, and that's kind of why I like it the most. It has the old font still, the old thin Helvetica new font, which I think is superior to the one they put in iOS 9, which will be coming up in a minute, San Francisco. And other than that, it's just an improved iOS 7. It has way better performance. Not to not discount like the iPhone 6 issues you had still. I mean that's not really an iOS problem. The hardware issues that happen with the iOS, the iPhone 6. I don't know why I'm mentioning that, but yeah. And the next one is iOS 9, which I mean it was kind of cool, but other than like a slightly different multitasking, I feel like it's nothing crazy. I mean, it did iron out some other stuff, kind of like iOS 8. But I don't like how it looks compared to how iOS 8 looked, to be honest, with all the fonts and stuff. And I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, iOS 8 wasn't that crazy of an update compared to 7, to be completely honest. And it's probably, iOS 9 is probably slightly more crazy, because they just changed the multitasking even more further than iOS 8 already did, so there is that. But I don't know, I just prefer iOS 8 more, and I mean, this is objectively my opinion, so if you disagree, that's fine. But I do think iOS 8 is better than iOS 9, because I feel like iOS 8 was the real, like the last of like the real legacy type feeling iOS versions with the old font and everything like that. So that's all I'm saying here. But anyway, the next one we're going to be talking about is iOS 10, which added a bunch of like those weird messaging type things, like the weird effects that you can do when you send a message, and like stickers and gifs and stuff like that, and like you can send songs, which I honestly think was pretty cool and is a pretty cool update. I think it might be worthy of S tier, to be honest. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. And now, because this video is all over the place, I don't even care, because I'm just not basing it on whatever it is. I think it's fair to put iOS 4 up here. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I think I'm going to make its own tier because I love glazing iOS 4, and it's just my favorite. I have a ton of nostalgia for iOS 4, so I'm just gonna put out of row above. I'm gonna name it. Yeah, so iOS 4, I think it's fair to put up here. I'm sorry. I know I'm all over the place right now. I'm just putting random everything everywhere. I know I'm just all over the place with everything here, but I don't think it matters. I'm just having fun here. I'm not trying to be organized or whatever. Anyway, so iOS 10 I feel like is fair to S tier, but I think iOS 4 is in its own realm just because I love it so much. So yeah, I do like all the messaging features iOS 10 added. They also had that like weird looking control center and like stuff like that, and yeah. And now I feel like the actual step up into modern iOS, which is iOS 11, and I think this is a tier update as well, and it brought like everything new. I think this is actually an S tier update here. I feel like iOS 11 is fair of an S tier update. It came out with the iPhone X, which, I mean, it's just the step into modern iPhone at this point. You had a brand new, like even more redesigned control center compared to like iOS 10. iOS 10's control center came up from the bottom. This came up from the top. It had like the swipe up gesture when you unlock the phone. It had Face ID, and like stuff like that. It even has like the circular dock and stuff like that. Just everything. It just modernized everything completely. And I feel like it is fair of an S tier. But still, iOS 4 is iOS 12, I think that's like a A tier type of update. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I mean, it was very it did perform very well compared to like iOS 11, I believe at that time. I think at least it had like screen time, which I don't know if that's even. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. I don't think, and I've ever used that, but like other than like a change like some notifications and stuff, I don't think it's that insane of an update. So it's either like I think it's like a BC tier. I think it's fair to put it with like iOS 6 in the BC tier, where it's just kind of just slightly different iOS 11 at that point. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I do think the iPhone XS line was pretty cool at the time. I like that line, but yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come on to iOS 13, which is another S tier update, mainly because it brought dark mode, and I don't think any of us enjoyed the default light mode we had since iPhone OS 1, so I think it's completely fair to put this in S tier just because of the dark mode, like the Find My app, which is also very helpful if you lose your phone or you don't know where it is. You can just like hit the button on it and it just goes off, like sends a notification sound to your phone or whatever, and then you can find where it is and other stuff like that if your phone actually gets lost or stolen or stuff like that. So I think it's fair to put it in S tier. So yeah. And now we move on to iOS 14, which brought like widgets and stuff. I think it like they slightly changed like when someone called you or something like that, I believe. Also, yeah, they added that like weird thing, like that weird app library thing, I think. I'm just trying to think of literally everything they added. Picture in picture, I think. Now I'm just researching as I'm doing this while just going off the top of my head. They added translate, maps. They didn't have that before. I don't know. I think it's worthy to put this in like a I would name something SA tier, but I feel like that would be really bad, so I'm going to name it I think that would be really bad. I'm just gonna put this in iOS in S tier just because of widgets in the app library, which I think are very useful. But I don't know, it might be worthy of A tier. I'm not sure here. I'm kind of conflicted because I don't want to put it on in between here, but I don't want to really put it like in this tier because I feel like that's too low for what it offers. So I think I'm just gonna put it in A tier. So what iOS 15 added was like also add like that when you could share play, I think it's called, where you can like share your screen when you're when on like FaceTime and stuff. And I think it might have changed Safari, like notifications, larger icons, and contact photos. Okay, and yeah, I think this is just another A tier. I feel like most of these modern iOS versions are just like A tier or S tier updates, other than like the completely ones like 16 and up, I think are not crazy. But I feel like I don't know, I think this is more like a BC type of tier, other than yeah, I think BC is fair here. Or like I haven't put any in B tier. I don't know, I think like an in-between tier is fair here, so I think BC is kind of fair. So yeah, I think that's fair. I don't even know why I named this BC. I could probably named it BA, but oh well, it works, okay? It's just an in-between tier. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found it interesting or whatever, make sure to like, subscribe, and when you subscribe, turn that notification bell so you're notified when I come out with brand new videos, and share to someone that might find this interesting and or helpful. And also, like, before I say that, also check out my social medias, which I will have all linked in the description. I have a Twitter, I have a second channel for YouTube, and I have a Reddit. So if you want to go check all those out, they're in the description for you to follow. And this has been Derek from Certified Legacy, and I will see you in the next video.